Hello everybody, and thanks for taking a look at my Indiegogo project. What I'm working on here is a teleidoscope, and this is going to be one of the perks for my campaign here. The finished product is like this. It's a kaleidoscope, but it's kind of different than one you've probably seen. It has a marble on the end, mirrors on the inside, and you use it to look at the world around you, and whatever colors you see show up in here in a kaleidoscope image. Kind of fun. The other product that you can actually hold in your hand is a magic pixie dust dispenser. And kind of a fun thing I've developed, if you Google magic pixie dust dispenser, you'll discover not only am I at the top of the list, I'm the only one on the list. So another fun product that I've got there. The other perks are actually special times that you can reserve the campground for yourself, or you pay for it, it comes with a perk. Weekends like the Memorial Day weekend, 4th of July weekend, Labor Day weekend. And I've also got a perk where you can have the entire campground to yourself for a whole week, whether it's just you yourself, or your friends, or your family, or maybe a youth group that you're in charge of, whatever, I don't care. But you get the whole week for yourself. We'll have to coordinate with other people that may have already reserved it by the time we have this out there. But the other major weekends I have reserved myself just for the Indiegogo campaign. The other perks are just a little recognition. I'm going to put a plaque. I have a CNC router so I can carve my own plaque. Won't be a big deal. But your contributions will be a big deal. I'm trying to accumulate actually hundreds of books for this learning center. The learning center itself is on the acreage where the teepee is. It's my family farm. It's where I grew up. And the house is where I grew up. It's the house where my father grew up. And actually it started back in the late 1800s where my great-granduncle Charlie put a little L-shaped Victorian up. And my grandfather in 1929 made an American Foursquare out of it and continued on. And actually I lived there for several years. Now I'm just using it as it's going to be the learning center for the Native American Center out there. The books that I'm getting, I've acquired a few already. One, this is Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States. It tells the Native American stories and several other stories a little differently than we may have learned in school. Another book, Local History, the history of Fort Dodge and Webster County. Fort Dodge was it's a town now, a city about 35-40 miles away from here, but it originally started as a fort in the 1850s. Another one, the Indian teepee. Maybe way more than you ever learn about an Indian teepee. But part of the program out there is you can actually stay in the teepee that I own. Another one, the Indians of Iowa. All the different tribes that have gone through here at one point or another. The Iowa Indians. This was the originals. They actually had treaties early on, and not many people even in Iowa know about the Iowa Indians. They are now on reservations in Oklahoma and Kansas. Another book, Local History again, the Spirit Lake Massacre. There are two sides to every story, and this tells one of the sides, but there's other books and other information I have out there to tell the other side of the story too. This one here, Native American Creation Stories, one of my favorites, kind of a philosophical thing. Every culture has got a creation story. Every human wonders, why are we here, where did we come from? And they're beautiful stories, and this has several stories. And the problem in a lot of our cultures is that a lot of people think their creation story is the only creation story. And when they start believing that, that's when the guns and the swords and the nuclear armament and whatever start coming out. So it's a good, the whole process here is to calm people down a little bit and realize that we're all brothers. Another one, Spirits of the Earth, just simple stories. And again, all cultures have wonderful, wonderful stories, so I'm trying to spread more of these around. Another thing with the Learning Center is it's going to be some documentation. I plan to have the National Geographic Society have my DNA checked. I am Nordic, very Nordic. My grandfather came from Norway, and one generation before that, all my ancestors came from Sweden. And what I've investigated so far, looking at the haplograph maps and whatever, there's a good chance that I personally share a lot of genes with the Native Americans simply because of the paths I've seen them take across Northern Europe, and they split off some went east over to the Nordic countries, and then somewhat west to the Nordic countries, and some went east across the Bering Strait and became the Native American population. But the whole point is we're all related, and we should probably get along a little bit better. So again, thanks for taking a look at what I'm doing here. I've got lots of pictures. I appreciate your help. I'm going to do this anyway, with or without your money. That's why I chose Indiegogo, because it's kind of open-ended. I've got a little thing on the thing about 138,000, I think it is, different books you can get from Amazon, and I don't need to have all 138,000, but I want to select a big portion of them. And I also want to have a fast internet access out there, because we can take advantage of the internet for some of these stories and some websites that I can put together for everybody too. So again, thanks for taking a look.